Glad to still have you here on the Gavel as we look at what appears to be a decisive week in the life of the 8th National Assembly. Now, what many people will remember of this week will be the rowdy session that broke out in the House of Representatives, a rowdy session that appeared to erupt from nowhere. The Speaker arriving for the day's plenary session. His first action was to call for a closed-door meeting. The call sparked off this reaction. To the amazement of all, some lawmakers attempted to seize the mace. This led to a struggle between the lawmakers and chamber attendants. The whole chamber then became rowdy.
Absolutely unnecessary. I think members are agitating that the normal thing should be done. The party has written a letter as to its leadership, and it's been with the Speaker for about 3-4 days, and he has refused to read the letter, which is against tradition. Nobody here came here as an independent candidate. I didn't come here as an independent candidate. Neither did the Speaker. So I think the right thing should be done. I'm not for this at all. But like I said, it's very unfortunate. But I'm sure it will be resolved.
It's very embarrassing, but we will resolve the issues. We have a very embarrassing situation from the reactions of members of the APC when the Speaker decided that we should go into executive session. But that is not the subject matter for now. My position as a principal officer, or rather as a leader in this House, is to make sure that we calm down nerves and be able to, disagree to agree.
Some of the lawmakers discussed in groups in an attempt to help resolve the crisis. Eventually, calm returned, with the Speaker describing what happened as unfortunate.
As to the issues that led to the chaos today, we will sit down as leaders across whatever divide we have to ensure that these matters are as quickly as possible resolved. And that is what we will do. By virtue of Order 10, Rule 10, and mutual consent, hereby adjourn this House to the 21st of July, 2015. The House stands adjourned.
As the lawmakers walk out of these chambers, Nigerians will be hoping that by the time they return in almost 1 month's time to resume legislative activities, they would have resolved some of the contentious issues that led to some of what we observed here. And hopefully by then, they will be ready to attend to the needs of Nigerians as the House of Representatives.
After what turned out to be a very turbulent day in the House of Representatives, the House adjourned for the day, but the storm was far from over. A large number of lawmakers in the All Progressive Congress who spoke to journalists laid the blame squarely on the Speaker. They said he refused to read a letter sent to him stating the party's position on its principal officers.
This action by the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, cannot and will not be allowed to stand, as it will set a dangerous precedent in our parliamentary practice, as it will give the Speaker the right and authority to appoint, choose, select, dictate, and even provide guidance on how principal officers emerge or are elected or selected by the majority and minority parties in the House of Representatives. This action is capable of truncating our democracy.
The group also spoke on the position by some caucuses that a particular zone should not be allowed to produce more than one principal officer.
We say, and we say this with all sense of decorum, this claim is absolutely rubbish. Presidencies were set in the 6th and 7th assemblies, where a single zone, the Northwest to be precise, produced 2 and 3 principal officers respectively.
But for lawmakers of the People's Democratic Party, the APC lawmakers have started on the wrong note.
I want to appeal, and specifically to the leadership of APC, that please, there are clear processes in addressing issues. This approach will not solve any problem. If they have crisis within their own party, they should be able to resolve it, and rather than to bring it to the Green Chamber. I find what happened today very, very embarrassing. And if this is the kind of leadership and change that they are trying to give to us Nigerians, we are not going to accept this modality of change.
For the House Ad Hoc Committee on Media, the conduct of some members is in contempt of the House and violates the orders of the House.
The House wishes to state that the action of these members is regrettable and not in consonance with the objectives of the 8th Assembly, as the House was set to continue deliberation on its legislative agenda and other matters that directly affect the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians. The House wishes to apologize to Nigerians for the ugly, events of today.
The committee says the House, under the leadership of Speaker Dogara, will pursue the needs of Nigerians, a promise Nigerians will expect them to keep.
Well, there you have it, the whole week laid out before you. Now, some people say it's time for President Buhari to lay aside his position of allowing the National Assembly take its own decision as regards the leadership of the National Assembly. They say he should step in before this crisis degenerates. What do you think? Well, we'd like to hear from you. You can write in through any of the platforms on the screen. Thanks for being there with us on this edition of the program. Let's do this again. Till then, I'm Lanre Lasise.